Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? I finally got that Volkswagen 2.5 in that Passat with the combustion that's getting in the cooling system. So I'm going to start to rip this thing apart. I believe it's a head gasket related issue. So we're going to start taking this thing apart and see what it can find. I'm not going to go through absolutely everything with you on this job, but I will show you in steps what I'm going through. So here is what you see right off the bat. So I'm going to start taking some stuff apart from this thing. I believe this is screwed down somehow. I got to look into that. Not quite sure. I don't work on Volkswagens all that often, but shouldn't be a big deal. 2.5 liter inline 5-cylinder. And all right, so let me start ripping some stuff apart on this, and we'll see where we end up. With that upper cover and tubes out of the way, directions tell me I'm going to obviously disconnect the battery, take the battery out, take the battery tray out so I can get to some stuff on the side here. Then I'm going to pull the valve cover off and go from there. So yeah, this should be interesting. Never did one of these before. I got disconnected. Supposedly the exhaust manifold comes out with it. I got to take the intake manifold off. So yeah, let me start unbolting things and I'll show you as I go along. So I pulled the battery and battery tray out of the way. I got the coils up and out. There's no bolts holding these in. They're just pressed in place. So I'm going to take the valve cover off next. Actually, I'm going to go compressed air and blow all the dirt off that's around it, so get a minimal intrusion as possible. Then we got to get this intake manifold off. I got to go up underneath this thing because I got to drain the coolant. Yeah, I still got a bit to do, so just want to show you where I'm at right at the moment. Okay, as you can see, I'm progressing here. I got the valve cover off. I got the wiring moved out of the way temporarily to that side. I'm going to take the intake manifold off. It's just about ready to come off. I just got to verify that everything's out of the way. Plus, you got the dipstick tube right here, which I think I got to take a bracket off underneath, so that's out of the way. Yeah, so let's see. In case you're wondering why, because it's clean inside this motor, why is this side so clean and light, and why is this side so dark? Usually it's a temperature related thing, and honestly I don't recall if the darker side is the cooler point and the lighter side is the warmer point. I don't recall. I'd have to research that a little bit to be certain. But there's nothing wrong with that. If you ever take your valve cover off and you see this, it's nothing to actually worry about. I don't think that this vehicle ever overheated from what I was told. So, and they've owned this car for quite a while. I've already been underneath it. I took the lower shield down. I disconnected the exhaust, so I got to continue disconnecting stuff up here. So let's get this intake out of the way, and yeah, then we're going to go from there. And there we go. Intake's out of the way. I took the harness, stuffed it up front here. Started taking some of these hoses and that off. So now I got to take this tube out because I have to gain access to timing chains on this side of the motor. Yahoo, terrific. So I have to get in here, and it also looks like this oil pump, or I'm sorry, vacuum pump is leaking. So there's a ton of oil right over here, but I'm not positive that's where it's coming from, but I think it might be. Yeah, so I got to get this tube out, and once this tube is out, I can get this housing off, this water housing, and then I could take the timing cover off. So let's get to that. With that water neck housing out of the way, it was just 2 bolts and you had to pry it off, and then there was a seal, or there's 2 seals on there. So that came right out. So now I got to take all of those Torxes out to get that timing cover off. All right, so bolts are out. What's waiting for us underneath this cover? There's the timing chain, or at least the upper timing chain. So, nothing special. Nothing special here. Okay. Let me look up to see. Like, I'm just curious on how that timing chain works. Like, if you had to replace that inner timing chain, I'm assuming you probably have to pull the transmission out. We're not going to go there, however. I'm going to see, maybe since we're going to have it apart, maybe we're going to do the upper timing chain? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I got to see. It doesn't seem like it has any wear in it. Looks like a pretty substantial chain. So, all right. Let me see what I have to do next. I'm actually going to go look this up, what I need to do next, just to make sure. because I don't want to make any mistakes here at this point. That's for sure. That's for certain. Yeah, so let's continue. Okay, I had pulled the plugs out because I had to rotate this thing to top dead center. Now, top dead center is kind of interesting. If you look, the camshafts have those divots in it. See that? But if you look down below the divots, that's where the head bolts are. Now, there's a special tool that locks the cam, this cam and that cam, in place, because once you undo the timing chain, it's probably going to rotate. I could probably get away, because you can use an 18mm wrench to hold these and move them slightly when you go to put the bolts through the special holding tool. I could probably get away with taking this thing apart, but going back together, that might be another story. What I might actually do is take those end bolts out and maybe see if I can get something that'll go across this and put bolts down through to hold it in place. Because, like, let's see, where is it? This one here. You see, the lobe is already on the rocker arm, so those valves are held open. So once I take the chain off, this thing will probably rock the camshaft one way or the other. Let me figure out exactly what I'm going to do here and go from there. All right, so I created a holding device here because coming apart, like I said, I think I mentioned it before, coming apart, I'm not too worried about it, but going together, I'm going to have the special tool because I want to make sure everything's just right. So I devised this holding tool. I already pulled the head bolts out that are below it on this corner. And what I did was I took the tension off the chain and stuck the grenade pin in there to lock the tensioner in place. So now the chain is slack. And as you see, I marked the chain up there, and then I marked the other chain down inside there because I want to verify that nothing turns. So now what I can do is I can take the chain, I can take that back gear off, then I got to take the front gear off here and get the actual chain off of there. So that tool I designed there, or fabricated there, whatever you want to call it, is enough to hold this. So I could back off on these bolts and get them loose. I also held this gear with a holding tool, which is this tool here. And then this gear I had to hold with a wrench through the camshaft here. So, and as you can see, I have some movement in the cam, so I got to be careful. Like, I didn't want to, break a bolt off in the cam or anything like that, or possibly distort something. So, all right, let me continue getting those bolts out. We're going to go from there. And there we go. The gears are out of the way. So now I get the rest of the head bolts out. Like I said, I already took these two out. These are secondary bolts that I got to take out. Get those out of the way, and then the other head bolts, and then this head should be ready to come off. Actually, not that terrible of a job. A lot of stuff in the way, but not a terribly complex job so far. I could run into something that's going to make me second guess myself, but I haven't yet. So, all right, let's get all those other bolts out and go from there. Okay, all the bolts are out. So this whole thing is ready to come up and out. I'm going to probably get assistance from Kirk, help me pick this thing up and out of there so I don't throw my back out any worse than I already have. Okay, yeah, so far so good. And we can see what we got going on. And there we go, head is off. There's nothing dramatic to see. If you see, the piston's a little cleaner down on this end. And you get down to this end, it looks almost like it was a diesel or something. But now remember, this thing was only getting combustion and cooling system under higher engine RPM when the cylinder pressure was up high. Here's the gasket. Now this, for you guys my age that haven't been doing this in a while, these are not like traditional head gaskets. These are multi-layer. They don't blow up like a regular head gasket. You never really see it. On these, usually the sealing, the silicone or whatever they use as a sealant that's built into the gasket, usually that gives way or whatever. These things have very light head torque. So I am actually thinking towards the end here was where the problem actually was. And I'm thinking that it was blowing through under high cylinder pressure. But you can't really see much of anything there. If we come over here to the head, I'm gonna have to clean this off with Scotch-Brite. I'm gonna do this all by hand, but I did blast it with brake cleaner just to get all the oily residue off. But if you look close, like here, it almost looks like it was not sealing in this general area here. In the other areas, you can kind of see like a completeness going through, but up here you kind of don't. Like when I say completeness, meaning you can see like a complete ring. Even down here you can kind of see it, but up here you kind of can't. So what exactly happened? Don't know, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So what I got to do next is I actually have to clean this thing down. I'm going to have to Scotch-Brite this whole thing, at least get it clean, get the surface area down, or get the material, like because that's a thickness on there, that actually adds to the thickness there. So I got to get all of that stuff off, get it down to bare metal. Do not use a roll-lock disc on like a whizzy wheel. Don't do that on the head. Don't ever do that. You'll destroy it. So I got to do that, and then this way I can do a straight edge and make sure that everything's good. Because obviously I don't know, is the head warped? It's possible the head's warped, but I really think the problem was over in this general area. So, because if you look over here too, you can kind of see how it was complete, sort of, and then this one was not. So that's just my best guess at this point, best educated guess. So let me get this thing cleaned down. The problem is it's the end of the day now on a Friday. So I'm going to probably clean this thing down and then call it a day, and then actually do the check on this on Monday. That special tool, I ordered it, but I'm not going to see it till Tuesday. So anyway, so that's about it. Hopefully you got something out of that. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching.